What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 69 of Park to Prem here with Nottingham Forest. Today, well, we've got a special little episode. If you missed yesterday, though, for whatever reason, do go watch it. We took on Manchester United, of course, a Manchester United team who last year beat us in the Champions League. We went toe-to-toe with them in the quarterfinals. It was dramatic. It was action-packed, to say the very least. And, well, I'm now going to assume that if you're still listening to me, you saw yesterday's video, because it wasn't that good of an episode, was it, in terms of the result? No, it was a bit of a disaster. As a result, today we are back for the final game of the season, and, well, that is going to be the FA Cup against Manchester United. So a chance for some early revenge, perhaps. Of course, when we left things with the league, there was a handful of games left, a chance it would go down to the wire. In reality, it just didn't, did it? Tottenham were our closest rivals, the only real team capable of giving us a chance. They lost 4 of their last 6 games of the season. With that, they finished second, a little bit Spursy from them, and we did secure another Premier League, which you may have noticed on this screen here, has seen me enter the England Hall of Fame, everyone. So yeah, if we go to the Hall of Fame, where is the Hall of Fame? Football man, I'm blind, it's in the middle. The Hall of Fame, look at this, where are we? But this is worldwide. I want to look at the Nation Hall of Fame. Look at that. We're on the toes of Mourinho, not far behind. Maybe with a win in this FA Cup, we could climb up just a little bit. I will say now, Frank Lampard, second in this list, courtesy of his overperformance in this universe. Of course, he is Bayern manager. He's not been sacked from them yet, but a long way away from the likes of Lampard, the likes of Alex Ferguson, and even, I guess, people like Guardiola. Although I've got them in my sights, maybe we will catch them before this series does end. Anyway, just have a look at the league games to end the season. Of course, as I mentioned, a bit of a formality, but we did beat Villa in the FA Cup. Really good result, this one. We beat them 3-2. Largo with 2. Gonzalez with a goal in extra time. Yeah, it was a bit of a test. After the wobbly game against United, I thought, this will be plain sailing. This will be fine. Largo missed a penalty, and it was anything but plain sailing. We were the better team, though. Finally, a little bit of luck going our way as we did score a penalty to secure a 3-2 win prior to it going to the shootout. From there, some good results. We beat Leeds 3-0, West Brom 3-1, and then we secured the title by beating Manchester United 3-0. Nice little win, this one. Largo with the first goal. If I'm not mistaken, he kept a header down for this first one. I hope I'm thinking of the right goal. He scores a lot of them, does Largo. Erk also chipped in with a goal before half-time. Again, a clearance, a corner that they just didn't deal with, United. Their clearance is poor. Erk this time ghosted inside and scored. And as they went on the offensive late on, De Volder also grabbed a goal for us in the 92nd minute. 3-0. I want to say it's some revenge. It really isn't any revenge, is it? It's hardly makes up for the disappointment of the last 2 years against United. The worst thing, of course, being that we get to play them again today. I can hardly contain my excitement. You can see, following on from us wrapping up the title, rotated the team around a little bit, form dipped as a result. 1-1 draw against Wolves, 1-0 defeat against Arsenal, and then we did beat Burnley on the last day of the season. Gonzalez scoring in the 90th minute, and with that 90th minute goal, he secured the Golden Boot Award, everyone. Absolutely delightful scenes. Elsewhere, you can see here, Danny Dyer ended the season on 18 clean sheets, which, to be honest, is pretty blooming good. I mean, it's better than everyone else. Is it a £155 million goalkeeper performance? I'm not entirely sure, but as a goalkeeper, he has averaged above a 7.0 rating, which for me is kind of the benchmark of a meh goalkeeper to a good goalkeeper. I think we can afford to put Danny Dyer in the good category. We'll talk perhaps a little bit more about him after today's game against United, as I am going to do a little bit of a squad roundup and review, a little bit of a look to the future where, well, I'm just going to talk about him now. Adebayo, everyone, he is going to be incredible. Of course, we agreed to sign him from Wolfsburg. He joined us for 36 million in January. I think we've got a really, really special player here. Got to try and work out how to fit him in the team. That's going to be the challenge for over the summer. Anyway, in terms of team news for today's game, we're going to go full strength into this game against Manchester United. It's the FA Cup, and whilst perhaps I shouldn't care too much about it, and well, unfortunately for us, Largo is not going to be around for it, this is still a competition I would very much like to win. Without Largo, maybe going to be a little bit more of a test for us, but I want to try and end this season on a high. I mean, we've got some silverware this year, a Community Shield, a Carabao Cup. If we win this, can I count it as a treble? I mean, it'll be all the domestic trophies. I'm gonna attempt to claim it has some deeper meaning. Of course, we are going to be taking on a Manchester United team who caused us problems yesterday. As you can see, they themselves lost in the Champions League semi-finals against Real Madrid. They lost 5-3 on aggregate. Just as a reminder, at the start of the year, we won the Club World Cup, where we finished, beyond teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona as well. Speaking of the final, you can see here it's an all-Spanish affair again. It's going to be Atletico taking on Real. Yeah, that'll be a really spicy game in real life. Bit of a shame that it's being played in Berlin and not in the Bernabeu or just in Madrid, really. But yeah, Spanish teams continuing to be an absolute dominant force in this save game. Anyway, in terms of the team for today's game, it's full strength with the exception of Largo. It means that Smith is going to come in for us. He's our Mr. Mazzala for today. You can see here a player who, of course, has been here for so long now. He's been an ever-present part of this team from the moment that we took over from the club. This year, he's found himself used a lot less frequently, had a few issues with injuries. His average ratings this year, pretty poor. But we're going to give him a chance today to turn around his fortunes and prove his worth. Elsewhere, Poyana out on the right-hand side. I've not forgiven him for yesterday. Let's not pretend that we have. I am bitter. I am upset with him. There can be a sea of green here, but it doesn't really indicate how much he ruined our season with a moment of madness. Maybe he can make things up for us today. Out on the left, we've got, of course, Erk, who had a really good season on the whole. 10 goals, 11 assists. Actually, in terms of average rating, one of his better seasons, his second best season. A little way off that year where, I'm going to be honest, he went to a whole new level. He evolved as a Pokemon. I was going to say evolved as a Pokemon, but he couldn't have devolved then. He's a Digimon, everyone. Did Digimons, go up and then revert back? I never watched Digimon. I think he's a Digimon, everyone. Please let me know if that is the case. Either way, hates big matches. Just do something today, Erk. You've been pretty good for me on the whole. He got man of the match when we took on United in the league. Hopefully he can do magic. And of course, Premier League top goal scorer Gonzalez is here. Fan favourite. One of my favourites as well. I feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He really is a top quality striker. As an advanced forward here, you can see there's just no real gap in his game. He's considered an elite striker, good in the air, good with the ball at his feet. If you wanted to be hypercritical, I kind of wish he wasn't just quite so one-footed. But look, he's been the top goal scorer 3 years in a row. This year, slightly fewer goals to be fair to him, but still chipping in with a hell of a lot. Maybe he can pull off some heroics today. Anyway, Navio and Sampaio at fullback, Pishi, One and Peterzak in the midfield. Not in the midfield, in the middle of the defence. That's what I was trying to say. Words are hard. I'm still not over yesterday. That's the excuse. For anything I say incorrectly today, it's because I'm still mentally boomed from what this game made me endure. I feel like a win today would, I don't know, I don't want to say it would solve everything. It made me feel a little bit better. It would make me feel like I can move on with my life into another season. Worth noting, the budgets have been set for next season. Of course, we have got a negative close to 1 million bank balance. There was rumours of a takeover that fell through. It didn't ever get to an embargo stage. But there is not really any money to spend in the summer. So if we are going to make moves, if we are going to look to strengthen this team further, it's going to come at the cost of moving some players on. As I said, after this game, we'll talk more about, ideas I've got for the team, what we might do going forward. But hopefully we can, firstly, win this game as Gonzalez brings it forward. He's got Erk in the middle. It's a 2-on-2. Laid inside to Erk. Back to Gonzalez. I think that deflected off the defender. That was a very weird goal. How has that beaten Gulbranson in goal for them? That's what I want to know here. Have to say, the interplay was nice. I thought Erk was a bit silly to pass it back to Gonzalez in the moment, but it's in the back of the net. I'm not going to complain. It did deflect off the defender. Do I care? No. Less than a minute gone. We're a goal up here at Wembley. I mean, if we win this game, having beaten them in the league as well 3-0, I'm going to feel a little annoyed by how things in the Champions League went, because I genuinely think we are a much better team than Manchester United here. Let's show that, shall we, lads? Let's show what we are capable of. We didn't give a good account of ourselves yesterday. Today's the day where every shot goes in. I want to believe. Lind gets first on the ball, inside to Smith. Of course, no Largo today, our star man. De Volder to Erk, now to Navio, who's just going to cut inside. Lays it off to Lind. He could shoot from here. Gives it to Devolder, who turns over possession, and now Alonso bringing it forward. Clipped out wide to Piergiani. Navio, though, has it under control. Reads it very, very well there. In the right place. And, well, now we look to spring the counter. Poyana down the far side. Do not get sent off today, Poyana. He puts it in. It's another weird goal. It's another goal, though. It's come off a defender. This time, it will be accredited as an own goal. I wouldn't have minded losing this game and winning the Champions League a bit like this. Poyana, lovely run to be fair to him, very brave, pulls it in. There is no one in the middle. I do not know what Murphy is doing there. I'm not going to complain, but with 7 minutes gone, we're 2 goals up. We've only had 1 shot on goal so far. So we're very clinical, 200% clinicalness or something. I don't think that's how it works. Anyway, there's less than 10 minutes gone, and there's another highlight here. Gonzalez, hits it. Oh my word, Gulbranson pulling out a phenomenal save there. Didn't think Kirk had that in his locker to bring the ball forward like that. He brought it so far. Unfortunately, denied by the goalkeeper at the very death. Sampaio now with it to Devolder. Poyana now with it too. Where is he going to go? He gives it to Sampaio. And the highlight just ends, but we have a throw in here. Poyana flicks it on. Smith at the edge. Devolder, he can shoot from here, as can Lind. I feel like we have midfielders with rockets in their boots. They can launch balls into, the back of the net. I thought for a second Lind was going to do it right on cue. Back out with Navio now. Bit of patient build-up play. Lots of options in the middle. One is Smith. He hits the woodwork. And it's hooked away. Right now, United living on the edge. We're bullying them at the moment. We're doing everything that we didn't do across 2 games yesterday. I really should get over it, shouldn't I? I should let it go. This is a separate day, Jack. Devolder takes it down. Gonzalez, what is happening? It's ping-ponging around in the middle. It's like bloody pinball in there. I'm not sure who the flippers are. It's either one of Gonzalez's feet, perhaps. And while Piotr's going to head over. 11 minutes gone. It's been highlight central so far in this game. To the point where if it keeps going the way it's been going, this could be an hour-long episode. There's another chance here. Ball whipped in. Piotr heads over on this occasion. Right now, it is all one-way traffic. You can see here, having slightly less of the ball, not completing nearly as many passes, but just getting the ball into the dangerous areas more quickly, causing this Manchester United team a lot of headaches. Nianzou tries to play it forward, but Sampaio reads it, and now we look to spring the counter-attack. Really nice passing here in the build-up. Erk with it, tight angle, should try and cross it. Will he try and cross it? He will. Devolder's there. And on his left foot, he tucks it into the bottom corner. Half an hour gone. It's 3-0. I don't know. I don't know how should I feel. Please go down in the comment section. Let me know how I should feel about this. This has been a dominant display. Erk holding up the ball nicely. Devolder just sneaking into the box unmarked. Puts it into the bottom corner. It's not even half time. It's 3-0. Their XG, 0.12 as things stand. Although, as I quote that, a set piece whipped in. Headed over on this occasion. But a warning that, yeah, you know what? We might be 3 goals up, but with 60 plus minutes remaining, there is plenty of time for this game to change and turn on its head. A goal here before halftime to United. Their confidence will rise. They will know that 2 goals and a half is possible. They scored 5 and a half recently against us. Murphy keeps the ball in. The linesman, though, causes issues. I don't know what that is. Football manager, are you okay? Poyana should have scored that. Maybe I'll take him off at half-time. I feel like I'm just treating him more harshly after everything we've been through together. Erk to whip in the corner. Cleared away. I feel like the chance was that Poyana opportunity. It could have been 4 before half-time. 2 minutes left of the half. I can't imagine another chance before we hear the half-time whistle. But there is still, the ball in their dangerous areas. And now Navio's gone through. If Navio gets sent off here, Navio, what are you doing? Be sensible. You know what? Player instructions, ease off tackles. Don't do it. Do not do it. And you know what? Piscione, after last time, not taking any chances. 4-0 at the break. No, 3-0 at the break. I can't count. It should be 4-0. It should be 4-0. I'm going to take off Poyana, everyone, just because I don't trust him anymore. I'm going to bring in Ionu. You know what, Ionu? We're going to have you play as an inverted winger on attack as well. Cutting in on his left foot. I feel like Ionu's a bit of an unsung hero. He's a top quality player. 11 goals in 23 games in the Premier League. is a really good return. I'm kind of shocked that his average rating is 6.86, but then I have subbed him on 9 times in those 23 matches, and I feel like often I've subbed him very late. He's the time-wasting sub who just comes on, gets a 6.6 rating and walks off the pitch without ever really having an opportunity to stamp his authority on the match. Going to give him a little bit more time here. 45 minutes to make something happen. Navio, Ionu. There you go, everyone. Bit of fortune again about it. I feel like we've got very lucky today in terms of some of the bounces, but we've taken those opportunities. Ionu with the goal. I think that was Urk with the assist as well. Navio's initial throw in here to Urk. Defender tried to clear it. It's bounced off 3 defenders in the build-up there. Once the initial throw in, then Urk's pass bounced, and then the shot bounced in off the defender as well. It's just one of those days. The bounces are going our way. Unfortunately, it's in the FA Cup final. Right. There is 20 minutes left in this game. What shall I do? What can I do? I'm going to take off Lind, and I'm going to bring in Tudor. Again, Tudor, a player who's been given chances this year, perhaps not nearly as many as he should get. He's done okay for us in the Champions League, 7.48 rating. Let's give him 20 minutes here to show us what he's made of. Sampaio with the throw in here, hoping he's just going to throw it short to Ionu, because we're set up for the long throw. They think it's going long. It's not going to go long, though. Gonzalez heads wide. That would have counted. That was a very weird highlight. The keeper was just kind of sunbathing after an initial effort to save it. Another throw in here for us, though. It's going to be Navio with it. Urk takes it down. Back to Navio. Tudor now with it. Back to Navio. Lovely build-up play here. Is their end product? What a save that is by the keeper. That was nuts. I thought Urk had scored. I was ready to celebrate. 10 minutes left. One more sub. You know what, Ferguson? These are the games that you like to come in, mate. And, come on in and make an impact. He scored. Remember when he scored in that Europa League final? He gets goals in these kind of games. That's what I choose to believe. Anyway, Piotr with the ball here. Plays it to Ferguson. Speaking of the devil, he's been tackled by his own player. Where are you, Cameron? Keep an eye on him. He's wandering around. He's looking for the space. Navio with it. Options in the middle. Could go on his own. Probably shouldn't. And that's why. Oh dear, Navio. Oh dearie me. That will be the final highlight of the game. We get to lift the trophy. It's the FA Cup. I don't even want to watch it. I'm storming away. You can storm out of press conferences. As far as I'm concerned, you can storm out of trophy ceremonies as well. It's a blooming FA Cup. It's not good enough. But it is an FA Cup win. And apparently we've got a quadruple. The FA Cup, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield. Yeah, when I was talking about trophies we've won, I kind of ignored the Premier League. It's a formality at this point. We've won it 3 years in a row. We are the force to be reckoned with in England. Except in the Champions League. We're basically Man City at this point, everyone. You can see here, Urk puts on a show for Barcelona. I feel like I've been seeing that news inbox item every single day. It's not happening. Go away. Gonzalez, by the way, highest average rating in the FA Cup. That's something nice to look at. Hopefully Peter Crouch has appreciated that in the press conference. And that does officially end our season. Look at this. We can now do a little end-of-season segment for the ever-beautiful trophy ceremony. 4 trophies to our name this year. And, in terms of new arrivals, it was a relatively quiet year in the end, wasn't it, really? If we just look at the signings, of course, Danny Dyer came in for 7.04 million. No, he came in for 155 million. 54 games. Let me know if you think he did well. The board are disappointed. Apparently we paid too much. Is 155 million too much for a goalkeeper? Quite possibly. Of course, DeVolder also joined us. Not the best average rating, but this year in Football Manager, the average ratings for certain roles, especially defensive midfielders, are just wrong. They're just not good. Last year, FM20, deep line playmakers got really good average ratings all the time. Completely turned on its head this year, which is a bit of a shame. He's been a good player for us. 8 assists, 5 goals. I'd consider that a pretty meaningful contribution in the games that he's played. You can see here as well, Fanadu, of course, joined us as a bit of a squad player at centre-back this season. Joined us for Barcelona for 24 million. That's not a huge sum of money, really, I don't think. He ended up getting a 7.26 rating. Actually got 8 goals in 23 games. A bit of a lethal player, of course, with 18 jumping reach and 20 bravery. He's the kind of person who's going to just throw himself into any set piece that we have. And we reap the rewards of that. Elsewhere, Gallardo had a really good season, actually. A bit of a surprise package. Signed for 8 million. He ended up, as you can see here, getting 8 goals and 7 assists, which is a pretty meaningful contribution by all accounts. Elsewhere, Mbappe. Yeah, don't forget, we did sign Mbappe. He's not played a whole host of football for us. 3 starts in the Premier League, 4 appearances on off the bench. Bit of a squad rotation player, a really good tutor, though, for our younger players. You can see here he's ended up with a 7.06 rating. If we do just look at the mentoring, you can see here the people in his class right now. We've got players like Adebayo here who have definitely benefited. You can see here the fairly professional personality coming through, which is really, really nice to see. As well as, players like Gallardo as well, who, of course, a bit younger, hoping he can improve his professionalism a little bit. Interesting and perhaps worth noting that when we signed him, our scouts and our staff thought he'd achieved his potential. Since he's joined us, there's a question mark over, maybe he could still develop a little bit, which is a slightly exciting possibility, if you ask me, because at £8 million, he could be a really tremendous player for us. Anyway, if we look at the outs for the year, if we just go here, of course, the big sale was Ricketts. He has barely broken into the Barcelona team. Elsewhere, Carl Stokes went to Tottenham, of course. As you can see here, he made 3 appearances. Yeah, not great for him. Good business for us, though, if I might say so myself. Elsewhere sales, you can see here, Finn Amlo left us to go to West Brom. 14 goals in 37. He started the season really, really well. Since then, he's been a tad disappointing. Elsewhere, and it pains me to admit it, Marcelino Boyer. Yeah, remember this guy, £100 million to Bayern. He's done really, really well. Really, I don't want to dwell on it. Let's go to the end of season results, shall we? Average home attendance, consistent sellouts. Of course, we've got the new stadium on the way, which is really exciting. We did win the Premier League. That was kind of my minimum expectation, I feel like. At this point, we've won the league 3 years in a row. As long as we keep going the way that we're going, I don't see any reason why we won't be winning it for the foreseeable future. We've got a good young squad, and I definitely think we are the beneficiaries of a Premier League where there's quite a lot of kind of parity, I guess, between all the big guns, all the big teams. There is a constant conveyor belt of players. There's not really a settled top 4 by any means, which is quite nice, really, because it means the status quo below us is very much in flux, but we're constantly, the best team. In terms of the Champions League, let's not talk about. I'm still upset. FA Cup, we won some good results along the way as well. Knocking out Chelsea, knocking out West Ham, knocking out Villa, all Premier League opposition. Of course, the Carabao Cup, that 5-0 win in the final was absolutely tremendous. Ionu, 6 goals in that competition. He did really well. And that, the Community Shield, the game that I forgot that happened at the start of the year, way back when, 1-0. Make of that what you will. You can see here the biggest win, 9-0 against Watford. Didn't big that result up enough. I should have done that more. In terms of the finances, a little bit of a question mark over it. The reputation has now risen to 5 stars, which is absolutely superb. Of course, financially, a little bit of an issue, perhaps, to resolve. You can see here our best 11, theoretically, of course, with all the rotation that we do. There's a few question marks over areas. A little bit curious to see Tudor in the team, but you can see just looking across the board, in terms of average ratings, the team turned up and played really, really well this year, which is, of course, just great to see. We won Manager of the Year, which I think we've done now for a 3rd successive year. Do I get like a hat-trick ball for that? Probably not. We also won Manager of the Month on a number of occasions. Fans Player of the Season was Gonzalez. Young Player of the Season was Erk. Signing of the Season, Danny Dyer, who's now considered a legendary goalkeeper, which is really cool to see. And you can see here, in terms of records, well, most goals by a player in a match, Gonzalez broke. Most goals by a player in a league match, he also broke. Erk, breaking a record for assists with 22 in all competitions. Danny Dyer also setting a record for clean sheets as well as most expensive player. And Mbappe, oldest goal scorer, only at 35. I am surprised with how young that is. Either way, a really, really good season. Unfortunately, as I already alluded to, financially, there's not much money. There's no money here. I can say there's not much money. There is just no money here. There's a little bit of transfer budget if we want it. I redistributed it off the wage budget that I was given. Will we go out and sign a wonder kid or a superstar? We'll see what's out there. But at this point, there's not a lot of money to spend kind of to upgrade the team at this point. We really do have to sign world-class players. and I'm not entirely sure where we would even improve our team, to be honest. You can see here, in terms of club culture, they want us to play possession football, which we don't really do at the moment. That might be something I look into pivoting to do kind of going forward. Elsewhere, next season's expectations, challenge for the title, also Champions League semi-final. That's a minimum expectation as well. I feel like the stakes are being raised. I mean, imagine if I got sacked for failing in the champion. That would be awful. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Next year, it's going to be our year. I promise you guys. Anyway, a whole host of little news inbox items here. Some players performing. That's nice to see. Apparently, Piccione hates his training. He'll get over it. It will be fine. Anyway, shall we take a little look at the squad and my thoughts on the team? To be honest, obviously, the additions of Danny Dyer and also, where are we looking? DeVolder, two just top quality additions this year, which I really do think strengthen the team. In terms of the vision for the next few years, I mean, it's a young squad. I feel like at this point, it's just a case of letting it gel and just encouraging players to hit their peaks, trying to get some of these players, particularly Ballo and Adebayo, into the first team for next season. Adebayo, you can see here, he's developed really, really well. At 18, he just looks absolutely phenomenal. He's considered a Premier League quality player already. Elsewhere, Ballo, you might be wondering, what's my plan with Ballo? You know, left-footed, plays on the left wing. Well, actually, I'm thinking I'm going to play him as a Mazzala. Yeah, that's right. We're training him to play centre mid, but he's not being trained to be a box-to-box midfielder. This year, I am a reformed man. But just looking at things, you can see here, as a Mazzala, with the exception of his finishing, he is very, very good. Of course, he's only 18 years old. I do wonder if maybe, I don't want to say this too loudly, but maybe Cameron Ferguson will be moved on in order to give Ballo the correct opportunity and the opportunities that perhaps he deserves to play in the team a little frequently over the next year. Of course, with Mbappe coming into the team, Adebayo was knocked down the pecking order. Did make one appearance for us, but didn't make a big splash in it. Again, going to be looking to play him in the first team this coming year. If we just sort by appearances, you can see how much the minutes really were spread around this year. Players like Paulo Silva, who of course are very much a backup centre-back, once upon a time was a starter, of course. He started 23 matches this year. I think we rotated the team really well. I think the squad management on the whole was really, really good. I think that's kind of shown here through the number of injuries that we had. We were averaging about 5 injuries a month compared to last season. You can see 7 injuries, 9 injuries, even towards the end of the year. This year, we only had 3 injuries in May. We had 9 in May last year. I mean, earlier on, actually, to be fair, we got a little unlucky. It makes the fact that we crashed out the Champions League all the more disappointing because I really, really feel like the squad was well managed this year in terms of for going deep in cup runs. And I think that was kind of, displayed, I suppose, in this game against Manchester United. In terms of the goal scorers, of course, Gonzalez was the runaway success. Ionu, though, got 26. Poyana this year, despite the red card, I've got to give him some credit. I feel like the changes that we did in terms of switching the winger to attack in this system and the wing back to support changed things for us. This position here, this elusive right attacking mid spot has been a problem area for a very, very long time. Small little tactical tweak has seen Poyana shine. Despite him disappointing me a tiny bit, you can see here he loves important matches. He's super consistent. I think he's as good a right winger as we are realistically going to be able to get in the team at the moment, given our current financial issues. Of course, you can see here, Largo, 17 goals from centre mid with 8 assists is crazy. Urk also putting in some top quality numbers. And even Van Dijk doesn't get enough credit. He got double figures in assists and goals this year. He was a big contributor, a bit of a super sub when we needed him to be. And you know what? For a player who can play naturally as a striker, naturally as a left attacking mid, naturally as a centre mid, he just ticks so many spots. He can come on and play inverted winger. He can come on and play the Mazzala on attack role, as you can see here. Of course, he is also, if we need him to be, a pretty dandy advance forward. I'm a big fan of Van Dijk. I feel like I've not banged on the Van Dijk drum nearly enough. He has been just a pretty consistent player. Perhaps he didn't in the early years live up to the £55 million price tag. But what I would say is he has very much found a home in the team and found a role in this squad, which I think he's quite happy to contribute by, doing. In terms of assists, there's not really one source of assists. Of course, the wide players, Urk and Poyana did well. Tudor as well did well, to be fair, when he was playing in the rotated 11. But there's no super standout player, really, with the exception of Urk. Nice to see both wing-backs getting close to 10 assists for the year. Players like Largo, Gallardo, DeVolder, all coming in with quite nice totals as well. I feel like in terms of this team, there isn't really a playmaker. Despite the fact we play with 2 playmakers in the team, they're very much about, I suppose, moving the team forward and, how we transition with the ball. I feel like there isn't one player we pass the ball to and expect him to, have a moment of magic. In terms of plans for next year, I am weighing up possibly changing something about the way we line up in midfield. Of course, we were, to begin with things at least, playing a ball-winning midfielder on defend. With Devolder coming into the team, we switched to a deep line playmaker. I do wonder if maybe playing him as a regista might be an option, just to make the most of stuff like his dribbling, which really isn't too badly. Perhaps that then frees up the ability to play Lind in a slightly different role. Maybe a Mazzala on support alongside a Mazzala on attack. I'm not against 2 Mazzalas. In fact, I think the Mazzala role in Football Manager this year is really, really good. But of course, you've got to have a top quality defensive player in behind really to be able to do that. I suppose there has to be a question mark over, can Devolder do that? He's obviously a top quality player, naturally a centre-back, but he does lack a little bit of defensive instinct, perhaps, for a kind of a world-class player. For me, he's just so complete. He's always going to play in the midfield somewhere. I don't really see a world where I'd play him at centre-back, unless I got really crazy and decided I wanted to play a libero, in which case he might be the best libero I've seen in Football Manager in a very long time, because it's a weird set of attributes you have to kind of be able to fulfill. As you can see looking at things here, he doesn't have a single attribute below 10 besides set pieces and aggression, which again, I feel like low aggression, he's not really a defensive midfielder. He's kind of this player who I want to be able to bring the ball out from the back. Maybe that means that double Mazzala isn't the best idea, but it's something that I'm weighing up, right? I feel like at this point we can afford to experiment a little, small little tweaks here and there. I don't think we need to completely nuke the way that we play. There's no need to. We have players who really fit this system nicely, but I am obviously all about those little tweaks that might make the difference between a Champions League quarter-final appearance and winning the Champions League on the whole. In terms of my most improved player this year, I'm going to have to give it to Poyana. Not necessarily in terms of his actual attributes, but just in terms of his overall statistical return compared to last year where he got 3 goals and 6 assists and was very much in Boyer's shadow. This year, he had a really good year. Was definitely a standout player for us. In terms of clubman, I'm going to give it to Ferguson simply because he may not be here next season, next episode. I think I have to weigh up whether or not it's the right thing for the team to have him around still. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player. He's a good player, but at 23 years old, valued at 50 million almost. We've got some very, very good players coming through. There's some pretty big teams interested in him. He might be the kind of player who we can move on, that maybe frees up the funds, makes it possible to go out there and sign a really top quality world-class player. And, for the final award, I'm going to go with an Unsung Hero award. Who would I give the Unsung Hero award to here? I mean, if we sort by average ratings, you can kind of see a lot of the players towards the top of the players you would expect. You know what? I'm going to give it to Piotr, everyone. I feel like Piotr gets a lot of stick, but let's just be real here for a second. This is his 8th season at the club at centre-back. He joined us in the Championship. He has never performed below a 7.09. I say that actually, 7.08. But you can see over the last 5 years, he's been so consistent for us. And even, in recent years where he's not perhaps scored as many as in his early years in the Premier League, he's still consistently averaging above a 7.1 rating. I know there's a lot of comments talking about possibly replacing him. Don't think he's ever really been an issue for us. I don't think he is the problem in this team. I don't think the defence is the problem in this team. We've kept the most clean sheets in the league quite comfortably. And with his love of important matches and consistency, as well as his overall influence and his, high esteem that he's held in by the fans, he's just a super important player for the way that we play. And I feel like, there's a lot of players in this team. There's players like Erk, there's players like Gonzalez that have a fan club, that have people that really like to big them up. I feel like Piotr is a little underappreciated, perhaps, in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, in terms of the aim for next year, it's got to be to win it all. With this series, of course, we're getting to that point now where I just want to win that big final trophy and maybe then try and win it twice. That was the initial aim. I feel like at this point, I have to settle for the fact I'm going to try and win the Premier League and the Champions League in the same season, and then the following season attempt to retain it, knowing that last season, after we do win a Champions League, and it's a promise, I am going to win one here, after we win it once, we attempt to defend it, we either do or we don't, and we end on a high or a low as we either match Clough's record or I curl up in a fetal position and curse Manchester United for beating me again in a Champions League fixture. Anyway, gang, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Let me know what you think of the team and how things are shaping up. Do you have a favourite player, a bit like I have Piotr? Someone who you think perhaps isn't the most popular of picks, perhaps is the hipster popular pick in this team? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Just as a heads up, of course, off-season is going to be going on for the next day. I may try and get an episode up tomorrow. Realistically, though, may take me an extra day or two. So bear with me. I hope you've enjoyed your Easter Monday. If you celebrate Easter, if you've got the day off, I hope you're savouring it and enjoying it by watching some Park to Prem with me. And, well, until next time, it is me, Jack. We will be back again very soon. We are going to win a Champions League. I promise you that. I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.